Hey everybody, I'm back with part 2 of tasting more Brazilian sweets, this time trying Brazilian chocolate. This is the Garoto brand, and this is a selection of chocolates from this brand. Garoto is one of the largest producers of chocolate in Brazil. So a lot of these are classics on their own, but they are known by their own names or their own brands, even though they are owned by Garoto. So a big thank you to Vinicius and family for bringing this for me, along with the other stuff. If you didn't catch the other part of this, watch part 1 here, and let's get started. The first of which being Serenata de Amor, which is a candy that you guys told me that I needed to try. Serenata de Amor in Portuguese just means love serenade, so it's a very romantic kind of a name for the chocolate. It comes in a round, almost truffle-like shape. So it has a thin layer of chocolate on the outside, and it has a really satisfyingly crunchy wafer. It's a really thin layer that you can barely see, but it gives you that crunch in your mouth. And the inside seems to be a nut paste of some sort. I really like this, and I can see why this is a classic, and I would definitely eat a lot more of these. So next up I have is crocante, which in Portuguese means crunchy. On the back there are descriptions for some of these, and crocante is included in them, which says amendoim com calda caramelizada coberto por uma deliciosa camada de chocolate. Let's try it. So it tastes exactly like it says. It's got a little bit of a bitter caramel taste to it, and it's covered in chocolate, but you got the crunch of the peanuts. I don't like this one as much because of the bitterness. It doesn't really go together for me. Another one I have here is opereta, which has its description on the packaging. It says bombom branco com castanha caju. And just like the description, it is a white chocolate. White chocolate is made from the byproducts of the chocolate making process. It's basically like chocolate residue butter. This is a pretty interesting take on white chocolate. It has a hint of cashew extract, which is something that's not that common. If you're familiar with almond extract, it has a quite similar taste to it, and the combination with the white chocolate makes the white chocolate a lot more bearable. Without it, it might be a little bit cloying, but this isn't bad. The next one I have is Eat Coco, which is kind of self-explanatory. It is a coconut flavored chocolate. This is a lot like a miniature version of a Bounty bar, which I love. I used to eat them all the time. The flavor of the coconut in this one, however, is quite subtle. The texture is really lovely, and I love that kind of light, crunchy, soft texture of coconut chocolates, but the coconut flavor is a little bit disappointingly weak in this. You taste a lot more of the sugary chocolate than you do of the coconut. The next one I have is a chocomelo, which is a caramel chocolate. A chocolate bonbon filled with caramel and malted milk. It looks like this one got a little bit crushed, but that's okay. You can already kind of see the caramel coming out of the chocolate. There seems to be a common theme of the fillings not having a super strong flavor in these chocolates, but in this case it really works. I like how the subtle caramel flavor of this one balances out the sweet chocolate. The next one I have is Milk and Me. This is a honey bread flavored chocolate, or pão de mel in Portuguese. I don't think I've ever had pão de mel, so I have no idea what to expect with this one. It has a very distinct honey flavor. This is very interesting. This has probably the most distinctive filling of all of the chocolates so far. It's a combination that I'm not sure that I've had before, but I kind of like it. It's very different. And last but not least, I have a baton au lait, which is apparently a classic. I was told that there are some really famous commercials that were done with it. Like there's one where there's this little girl and she's like dangling it, trying to hypnotize the viewer into buy baton. So if you know that commercial or are aware of other ones that are equally famous, let me know about those as well in the comments. And if you like this kind of video, please give it a thumbs up so that I know and can make more in the future. This one is unique from the other ones in that it is in a tube sort of a shape. Batom is the Portuguese word for like lipstick or lip balm, the tubes of stuff that you put on your lips. And as the name suggests, this is a milk chocolate since it is au lait. I was told that the best way to eat this is to let it dissolve in your mouth. This is quite good for a milk chocolate. I have to say, I don't have the patience to let it dissolve in my mouth. If you want to compare it to big milk chocolate brands, this is a lot less sweet than Milka. It has less of a cloyingly sugar milky flavor than Hershey's, and I would say that it's got a little bit more of a chocolate flavor than Nestle. In terms of where it sits with the big milk chocolate brands, I would put this probably up on the top. That is going to be it for this edition of trying more Brazilian sweets. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, you might think about subscribing. I also have a podcast on iTunes that comes out every Monday called Bottom of the Mainstream, and I will see you next time.